Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And today, I don't know if we're going to be doing code. We could do a little code, but we're going to just kind of review exception handling and then what I like to call exception handling exceptions gracefully. This is sometimes I've heard other people say it. I don't know if it's like actually exact lingo, but basically, how many times have you gotten an error in a video game or a program and it'll be like error code 58374 and you're like, what the heck does that mean? So yeah, my what I call handling exceptions gracefully basically is providing meaningful full. Some of you guys are just like over there making fun of me. Error messages in a way that doesn't disrupt the user experience, but also doesn't inhibit app functionality. Right? So we want something that's like, you know, error. You input characters into this phone number box. Please put your phone number in. Right? Something simple like that. Instead of error 506, and that's all you get, right? Those are like the most annoying things ever. They're incredibly obnoxious, and like then you go to Google and you're like, what does error code 506 in Visual Studios mean? And it's like, oh, it means you did this. And it's like, shut up, nerd. But yeah, all right. With that, like, so do we really need to like go over anything else? I don't really think so. We've gone over the try block where we attempt to access elements outside of the bounds of an array. We throw the index out of range. We've done the catch block that exception catches the exception, prints the error, handles the exception, in my words, gracefully. And then the finally block, which is just cleanup code that will always execute, regardless if an exception is thrown or not. This ensures that any resources are properly released and gives us an overall better program. So let's just go over some best practices for exception handling. So we're going to call the first one, we'll just go with one. Catch specific exceptions. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You, rather than general errors, you try to be more precise with your error handling, right? Just like I try to catch the index out of range, rather than just giving the exception, right? The exception X message. We don't really want to just do that. We that's like for something that we maybe didn't anticipate. Two, provide an informative and meaningful answer to the user. We're going to say gracefully, so that they don't get frustrated. I know I get frustrated. What else do we need to go over? We already know the finally block cleans up the code, finishes anything out, executes no matter what. Let's talk about avoiding empty catch blocks, right? So these, if you make an empty catch block and you're like, oh, I'll figure it out later, it can hide errors. And it's just going to make debugging a pain in the ass. Will become painful. And then let's see, what else do we got? We could do something like go over this at some point. Log the exceptions. So all that is keep a record to know or understand information for debugging and troubleshooting purposes. So what that's going to be is you're going to go into your code, you're going to run it, and then with your user input, you're going to try to break your code. And then you're going to log that down. You're like, okay, this broke the code. All right. What else can I do? Let me try hitting you know, something else. Let me put in a double instead of an integer and see if that breaks it. And if it does, then, or if it spits out the wrong response, you know, you got another error to log. Very simple stuff. All right, so I think that's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to write another program here. I know it's a little weird for you guys. You're like, what? But I think this is just a good idea of like going over like why we do it the way we do it. Anyways, that should be all. I'm going to figure out some more videos for next month, but I'm kind of tapping out of ideas. Control save so we don't ruin our stuff. I'll figure out what else is kind of like basic coding, and we'll start there. But we might start some Python here soon as I begin to write an application with a friend of mine who had an idea, and I liked the idea. But anyways, guys, you have a wonderful day. Like, share, subscribe, and come back to see more magical syntax from the Syntax Sorcerer.